Hey now, having nothing to do with the fact that I have run out of Satz and Tettnanger hops, today I'm going to be sort of doing a twist on my usual German Pilsner recipe where I'm just going to change up the hopping a little bit and firing in some New Zealand hops as opposed to some of those more traditional German and other European hops. So yeah, let's give this a whirl. So I'm just starting off with some just filtered water here in the mash tun. And I'm going with my usual 96.5% Weyermann Pilsner malt and then 3.5% Carafoam just to give it a little bit of extra head and some stability. I'm going to be doing a protein rest here at 50 Celsius, so sort of that like 125-ish Fahrenheit range for approximately 20 minutes or so once it gets all nicely mixed up. After that protein rest, I'm ramping this up to 62.7 Celsius or that 145 Fahrenheit range just to do a beta amylase rest. After 45 minutes, we are ramping this up to 67.7 Celsius or 154 Fahrenheit and holding that for another 45. After 45 minutes, I'm going to step up one more time. We're going to go to 75 Celsius or in that 168 Fahrenheit range and mash out for 15 minutes. Just hold it there once it hits that temp. My big change here is that I'm going with Pacific Gem hops, which should give maybe a little oak and possibly some blackberry, which could be pretty cool. Some nice New Zealand hops. And I'm going with the first wort hop here. Now, because these are 12% alpha, I actually am not going to need any of my Magnum that I usually use when I'm going with Tet and Satz and stuff like that, just because those are much lower alpha hops. So this is going to be my only real bittering addition here. This first wort hop of 42 grams of that 12% alpha, and that'll get me the majority of that 38 IBU that I'm after. I always love how these first wort hops look when they're approaching a boil. This funky little landscape here. It's awesome. We're at now the beginning of this 90-minute boil, and because of the first wort hops getting basically all the bittering done, I'm not adding any more until 10 minutes left. So yeah, we're going with a 90-minute boil here just because of the Pilsner-based malt to help reduce potential DMS in the finished product. Had a little camera malfunction, but at 10 minutes left, there were 28 grams of Pacific Gem hops, and at flameout, again, 56 grams of Pacific Gem hops. So just hoping for really nice flavor and aroma coming out of that particular hop. Then quick whirlpool, waited 15 minutes, and it's time to run off. I've gone ahead and run these off here into the carboys. Now, these ones I'm actually running onto existing yeast cakes. I just transferred these off. This is a German Pilsner that I just finished crash cooling the other day and ran this right off into there. A person could do the exact same thing just using your favorite lager yeast, anything that would be great for a Pilsner or any kind of light, clean beer. But as it is, this is good to go. So I'm just going to set it up here and get it ready for fermentation. Now I have these carboys with some nice carboy hoods running off into a low-off bucket here, just sitting in the garage. And I'm going to be sort of covering them up here with this blanket just to make sure that they are sort of nicely insulated and will be less likely to fluctuate. Of course, have the heat wraps and the temperature controllers all set up here so that I can ferment. And I'm going to get these guys going at 55 Fahrenheit, which should be just a really nice fermentation temperature here. The next morning, fermentation is kicked off nicely. You have to love pitching on a yeast cake. Lots of yeast to go around here. I am currently pressure transferring this New Zealand Pilsner here into a keg, and after fermentation kicked off there, I let it sit around the mid-50s Fahrenheit, and then as fermentation was starting to die down, I ramped it up all the way into the mid-60s Fahrenheit just to try to hit terminal gravity nice and efficiently. And once that was done, I just, again, ramped it down, let it sit cool for a little bit, let a bunch of that yeast sort of flock out, and now I'm going through the transfer process just into a couple of kegs here. So after transferring into kegs, we took that Pilsner, cooled it down, Jaltenfined it, transferred into a destination keg for carbonation and serving. A quick note about gravities. The original gravity was 1043. I was shooting for something kind of in that mid 4% range, and finishing gravity turned out at 1010, which is great. So everything's just right at the lower end for that particular style of beer. So let's give it a whirl. Well, I'd say that Carafoam did its job there. Definitely some nice head retention. I did give this a good whiff before I came outside because I knew that we were going to get a little bit of skunkiness out of this. But this is how it's meant to be enjoyed. So in both the aroma and the flavor of this beer, I'm getting mainly that oak character out of those Pacific Gem hops, which I think pairs really nicely with the graininess of the Weyermann Pilsner base. But in that kind of lower alcohol, 4.5%, really decent bitterness, nice graininess, makes for just an absolutely beautiful hot weather beer. It's like 30 degrees Celsius out here right now, so I'm dying. I'm going to crush this and grab another one. Yeah, so a person could go with perhaps some more traditional New Zealand hops with this that maybe would give a little bit more tropical or citrus character, but I think that's worked really well in this Pilsner, and yeah, give it a whirl. And until next time, keep it 11.